Ever wonder, like really wonder, who'd win in an all-out tank battle? And I'm not talking about your granddad's Sherman tank. I mean the absolute tip of the spear, the most advanced military tech out there.
Right, the kind of stuff that most people only dream about driving in a video game.
Exactly. And today, we're diving into that exact scenario. We're pitting Russia's T-14 Armata, a tank so advanced, it seems, ripped from the future, against France's Leclerc XLR, a true veteran known for its speed and agility.
This is the kind of matchup that gets military strategists and armchair generals alike, well, pretty fired up.
Absolutely. So let's break it down. First up, we've got the Armata. This thing is like the poster child for cutting-edge tank design.
It's hard not to be impressed by it, visually, I mean, just looking at the thing.
Right. It's got this like sci-fi vibe to it. And one of the things that makes it so unique is its unmanned turret. Meaning there's no crew inside the turret itself. They're all tucked away in an armored capsule deep within the tank.
So it's safer for the crew, and it gives it a very distinctive look.
Exactly, but the real game changer here, and I think you'll agree, is the armor.
The Armata is absolutely bristling with it.
It's not just any armor, though. It's called reactive armor, and it's as wild as it sounds. Basically, it explodes outward when hit by a projectile, neutralizing the threat before it can even reach the main armor.
It's like a super fast, super tough force field.
And as if that wasn't enough, the Armata is absolutely loaded with sensors. We're talking 360-degree vision, advanced thermal imaging, the works. It's like it has eyes everywhere. Then there's the main gun, a 125-millimeter cannon that can fire all sorts of nasty stuff.
We're not talking your granddad's tank shells here.
Oh no. We're talking advanced munitions designed to punch through even the toughest armor and take out multiple targets. The Armata is packing some serious heat.
It really is a remarkable piece of engineering, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And it represents a shift in Russian military thinking, too. They're moving away from the old Soviet doctrine of fielding massive tank armies and focusing instead on smaller, more mobile, and much more technologically advanced units.
With the Armata leading the charge, literally. But you're right, it is important to remember that for all its impressive specs, the Armata hasn't really been battle-tested in the same way as some other tanks.
We haven't seen it go toe-to-toe with other top-tier tanks in a real-world conflict yet.
Exactly. So while it's a technological marvel, its true capabilities are still, to some degree, theoretical.
Precisely.
Now, that's not to say the Leclerc should be underestimated. This is a tank that's seen its fair share of action and come out on top. It might not have the Armata's futuristic looks or quite the same level of cutting-edge tech, but it's no slouch when it comes to firepower or protection.
It's a battle-hardened veteran.
Exactly. And it has a few tricks up its sleeve. First off, it's got a 120-millimeter smoothbore cannon. It's a bit smaller than the Armata's gun, but still more than capable of delivering a devastating punch. But where the Leclerc really shines is in its mobility. This thing can move.
It's the difference between a heavyweight boxer and a welterweight. One's all about raw power, the other's speed and agility.
Perfect analogy. The Leclerc is nimble, it's quick, and it's designed to outmaneuver its opponents. And then there's its modular armor system,
which allows it to be adapted to different threats and combat situations. Need extra protection against certain types of weapons? No problem, just swap out some armor modules.
It's adaptable, which is a huge advantage in a fast-moving battlefield. So we've got the Armata, a high-tech fortress on tracks, and the Leclerc, a nimble and experienced brawler. Who comes out on top in this clash of titans?
Well, if we're talking purely about a one-on-one engagement in a neutral environment and only factoring in firepower and technology, the Armata probably has the edge.
The edge on paper.
Exactly. But, and this is a big but, real warfare is so much more than just who has the bigger gun or the thicker armor. Crew training, tactics, the lay of the land, even things like morale and logistics all play a huge role.
It's never as simple as lining them up and seeing who shoots first.
Never. A skilled Leclerc crew, using smart tactics and taking advantage of the terrain, could potentially outmaneuver and even defeat an Armata.
So it's not a guaranteed win for the Armata, even with its technological superiority. It really does depend on a whole bunch of factors.
Exactly, and that's what makes these kinds of hypothetical matchups so interesting to dissect. It's rarely clear-cut, and there's always room for surprises.
It's a reminder that technology alone doesn't win wars. It's the combination of technology, skill, strategy, and sometimes a little bit of luck. That ultimately determines the outcome of any conflict. So while our sources lean towards the Armata as the likely victor in a head-to-head engagement, they also emphasize that a skilled and adaptable Leclerc crew could potentially turn the tables. It's a fascinating thought experiment, and one that really highlights the complexity of modern warfare. What do you think?